All right, Jake. Here we are. Week 3, buddy. Our commitment is just unrivaled. We're
Yeah,
really doing this thing, huh?
yeah. How many times does it take to be consistent? Is three enough?
I'm not sure. I think I saw one time that said most people quit before they get to their 21st episode. So we might as well try for 25.
Nice, perfect.
Yeah, we are net. We are net minus one subscriber at the moment.
It's true.
That kind of made me laugh.
That is
You
true.
know, someone in the middle of watching our last episode was like, "Yeah, these guys are not it. I'm out of here."
Which is reasonable.
That's absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can't even blame them. Can't even blame
No.
them. These freaking hillbillies from Iowa, they don't know what they're talking about.
All right.
So,
Up first.
um, yeah, let's just do some of the news. You had a pretty interesting foreign update. Foreigners in America.
Yeah. Well, just scrolling Instagram in the middle of our lift this morning, I saw where that U20 World Champ Ono, he is he is going to be at Penn State from January to March, is what he says, training.
You know,
Right in like, I mean, that's peak postseason time for the college team. I'm sure he'll just be with RTC, but
yeah, that'd be man, what a good guy to have around. I guess he's young. He's from Japan, so you know they train hard. You know that he's gonna offer your guys a different feel, a different look. I'm definitely not up to date on the Penn Art or the Penn State RTC. I don't know who their current lightweights are, or I guess middleweights, but that can't be anything but a good addition.
yeah,
Can't be anything but a good addition to have in the room.
yeah. Well, the dude he's super confident. He's like the most confident. The, he
Yeah,
he 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 has Aguya first round, I think.
yes,
And comes up to, yeah, he does. He walks up to Vito in the middle of an interview. He's like, "I'm gonna make the finals and we'll wrestle."
yeah,
So, he's got a multiple time world medalist, first
world
round.
champ,
Yeah, multiple
world
time world
champ.
champ. And he's just like, "Yeah, I'll be in the finals."
Well, thinking you're gonna win can only help.
That's correct. That
It can
is
only help.
correct.
Um, and I don't think we've seen you guys wrestle at 61 yet, have we?
There were, I mean, for Russian nationals
Oh yeah,
was the only one, and he kind of smacked everyone there. So
yeah.
yeah,
He's so good, man.
he's decent.
He is so good. I'm pretty excited for it. But
Yeah.
I think the foreigners in America tracker is something that uh, I'm interested to keep trying to follow. I'm Ray. I think might still be here. He might be gone. I have no idea. But um, we're gonna keep an eye on that. We're gonna keep an eye on that and see what we can come up with. Um, maybe try to get our hands on Ono during that stretch. We'll see what we can do.
That would be sick, actually.
That would be sick. I might have to call my buddy Mark McKnight, and see if we can come out and just get our butt kicked by Ono for a little bit, and then report back.
Yeah, we'll take some kids over there.
Oh, or just us.
Oh,
Hey,
all right,
it's in the middle of their school. They're in the middle of their high school season. They can't really do much. We'll see what we can do.
that's fair.
All right. Before we kind of get into a couple of things we're going to talk about, I guess it's probably relevant to mention that this is also the start of the college wrestling season. This upcoming weekend, college wrestling folk style will begin. Um, I know there's a couple tournaments. I know there's a couple places competing this weekend. Um, I think it's this weekend. I really think it's this weekend.
Well, I know for sure.
I saw that.
I don't know if it follows the same, but I know for sure. Like, there's an open at Simpson this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, and I know there's one. I think the Luther one is this weekend too, because I'm pretty sure I saw Iowa said that they're competing this weekend at the Luther Open. So I mean it's here.
Yeah.
It's here. College wrestling season is here. You know what's interesting? There's been a lot of talk about delaying the college season, um, but it feels like they continue to start it earlier and earlier. So
Yeah. And ironically, it
um,
feels like the high school season's later.
yeah, well, the high school season it always starts on a Monday, and it just happens to be late in the calendar this year. So I think it started almost as early as the 12th or 13th a couple times. This year that Monday just happens to be the 18th. So it is delayed um, compared to what it normally could be, but I think that's just because their rule is like that Monday.
Yeah.
But we are later than some. I think talking to a couple of the coaches in the P&L thing, they start high school practices this week for their boys.
Interesting.
We don't start in Iowa until the 18th. So schedule's weird, man. It's an interesting topic. Everybody has pretty strong opinions on it, and everybody kind of goes about it their own way. But it's hard to do a one size fits all. It's really difficult to do a one size fits all.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else on the D1?
I don't. I don't even know what competitions are this weekend, man. I just don't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I still feel like I'm hungover from preseason nationals.
Dude.
Like I am still way down.
And you're
I am
sober.
still way. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, but okay. Well, I guess before we get into actual preseason talk, let's talk about the World Championships. Greco has started. Women's is going on currently, and then the men's start for us tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. Um, I guess let's go through all three styles because we have Greco completed. The women are competing right now, and men's freestyle starts tomorrow, so we can kind of do some predictions there. But um, men's Greco started off with a freaking bang for the United States. Benji Peak took out a two-time world medalist from Iran. First round, the match is super entertaining. Tough, tough freaking scrap. Um, but then he dropped his next match, and then that guy failed to advance to the finals.
Yep.
Um, so that's kind of tough for Benji, but it's good to see Benji get a win like that. You know, um, he was the only win that the Greco guys had. Um, Everybody else went 0-1, and then Ildar's guy made the finals, but then Ildar lost his first rapid charge as well. So Benji went 1-1, Ildar went 0-2, and then the other two guys went 0-1 as well. So
And
you know,
Kikanau, yep. Kikanau
yep,
lost
yep,
first round too.
yep.
Yikes.
I'm not here to bash on Greco. It's just very evident that the world is really, really, really good, really, really, really good,
Yeah.
and our guys are fucking trying, man. Like I know they're trying.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know? Does I don't know how you would know this, but do you think those other countries do it from like they like funnel their guys into only Greco and they do that the whole time, or they do both Greco and freestyle?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They get them. I mean, all of these countries had kids at U17s, which is the youngest opportunity in like Europe. I'm pretty sure. So at least by then they're full time Greco kids.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I don't know for sure. I'm guessing they get them separated pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, they're also. I mean, at the very least, they're not competing with three styles, just two.
Correct. Correct.
So.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, other countries have their own other wrestling styles too, though.
Yeah.
Like Japan obviously has sumo. Like
Yeah. And I guess you
there are
could
other.
consider judo and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
um those all fall under a separate name though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So wrestling
yeah.
wrestling in America, you would consider there to be three styles. And
There's
then there's
more
like,
now.
huh?
Well, beach is existing as well. We're just continuing to divide our freaking
That's true.
population subset up.
That's true. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I
No.
don't know. I would assume that they get them separated pretty quick.
Yeah, probably.
So, but the girls, um, currently as it stands, the 55 kilo girl lost in the semis, so she'll wrestle for a medal tomorrow morning. Jakara lost first round 2-1, and then her girl unfortunately lost in the semis,
You know.
so her tournament is done. Macy Kilty, she lost, I think, second round, her second round match.
Yeah. Well, her.
But that girl made the finals.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah.
So she will wrestle tomorrow morning in the rep charge as well. And then I think currently as it sits, Kylie Welker's in the semis. So yep,
Yep. She
she's
is in the
definitely
semis
scrapping right now.
versus Japan.
Yeah,
They're pretty good.
they are. It is a bigger weight though. So I tend to lean toward the US girls on that side of the weight scale.
Yeah.
Um, but also Kylie Welker is really good.
Correct.
She's very good. So, you know, I guess as soon as that match is over, maybe we can plug it back in. But, there hasn't been too much, I guess it just hasn't been too crazy compared to what I think we're seeing with the boys' weights. So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, the boys' weights, brackets come out. Everybody has a cool reaction to them. Burroughs has a scrap of a first round match. David Taylor and Sadulayev are slated to meet in the semis. And then about 2 hours later, brackets get redrawn. Burroughs ends up with a bye. Taylor and Sadulayev are going to wrestle first round. And they're on the same side as two-time world champ Gashimapur. So I don't know what was missed. I have no idea. Something clearly wasn't plugged into seating criteria.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, what a crazy turn of events.
Yeah. It was gonna be the 92 kilo bracket was gonna be fun, and now it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because Gazimpur was on the opposite side of Taylor and Sajulayev, who were gonna meet in the semis, which means Gazimpur probably hits the semis, gets, I mean, likely the finals, and then everybody's medaling there. Somebody's not medaling here, correct? Or is there a way that all three of them medal?
no, because they're all on the same side.
Yeah.
So you can have a first, third, and a ninth,
Yeah.
first, third, and a ninth. You know what I mean? First, third, and a seventh, maybe. Um, but yeah, no, one of those three guys for sure isn't medaling.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, potentially all three of them are not medaling, but like guaranteed, one of those three guys cannot medal.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, it's a tough side of the bracket.
Dude, it's a super tough side of the bracket. It is if you're Ben Honest right now, you're like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Italy on top, baby.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's super crazy. Just I don't know. I'm getting up for it. I'm here for it. I'm getting up early tomorrow to watch these matches.
Oh, by the way, Ono and Arujao can't meet in the finals. It has to be a semi. They're on the same side. Is it Aguyev, Ono, and Arujao are all on the same side?
Oh yeah,
Ah,
bracket got redrawn, didn't it?
I mean, probably. I think
I
you
think
would
they
think
all
all
did.
of them.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy to me that um
That bottom half, yeah,
they seed the top eight, and it is crazy to me that you don't get any seeding points for like the U20 stuff. You would you would think that that would get you some kind of seeding points.
yeah, maybe. It's a definition wise, it's a different level.
Yeah, but I guess my argument would be that like especially for the girls, you're seeing a lot of the U20 girls do really really well on the senior level as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and it doesn't have to carry a tremendous amount of weight, but like it should get you some points. Where like
yeah,
he's sitting at 0 points. That's crazy to me.
yeah. Oh no, they're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean he's the 19th spot in the bracket.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be pretty chaotic. I really think it's gonna be chaotic.
Yeah.
What weight is this? What weight is that?
This is 70, so this is
70?
Green's
Oh,
weight.
big James Green.
Yeah,
Dude's a freaking monster. I'm excited to watch him wrestle.
yeah. He
I'm very excited to watch him wrestle.
yeah. He's got a first round too.
Yep. Yep.
But I mean, he
I mean,
looks.
I definitely like him first round, and then from there, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's in a good spot.
Yeah, and the Russian is on the other side.
Yeah,
Drive.
yeah.
The Japanese guy's on the other side. You know,
I think this Tajikistan guy might be a Russian transfer.
looks like it.
Gudiev. Skriabin is good.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's good guys in the bracket,
Yeah.
but you know, there's good guys that you would prefer to see over good guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
you know,
Yeah,
like yeah, let's look at this guy.
yeah.
So yeah, Burrow's got a big bracket.
Yeah, this thing's massive, which is super cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, he's got,
there's one pigtail in a 32-man bracket.
and they wrestle into him, right?
Yeah, the pigtail wrestles into Burrows.
I like it. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like it. I'm excited to watch Burrow scrap, man. Especially knowing it's him and Taylor's last hoorah. I think it's really important for people to watch and to appreciate it.
yeah. All right, so are you getting up at 4:30?
Yeah,
Let's go, dude.
yeah. I'm setting my alarm. I'm watching this stuff tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
and then we're lifting after.
you know,
Yeah,
it depends on what time I get to bed tonight.
that's fair. That's fair.
So, but yeah, I'll put my red, white, and blues on. I'll freaking be all in for Team USA tomorrow. I like the guys competing, man.
I'm pretty sure
They're fun
Russia's
to
flag
watch.
is red, white, and blue too. No.
It is, but I'm a stars over stripes guy.
I like that.
Yeah. So, well, I think that's it for the news. Unless you've got any crazy predictions.
I do not have any crazy predictions. I am just gonna watch.
Yeah, I think it's look, Team USA all the way.
Correct.
Four gold medals. Let's go. But there are some matchups I want to see.
Yes.
There are some matchups I would love to see.
Yeah.
So I'm always super intrigued by Vito, man. I'm always super intrigued by Vito because his best wrestling is so good.
And it always seems to be at the correct time.
Always.
So
Always.
always.
But, you know, you maybe he's just anti folk style. Maybe that's all we can. I know he was injured, but last year it was kind of like, what is happening a little bit here?
Yeah.
Like, but then at the NCAA tournament, he freaking crushed everyone. So I don't know. I guess I'm a fan. Let's watch.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. We can have some fun.
Absolutely.
So, all right, moving on. Let's talk about why both of us are just completely exhausted.
Yes. And I'm feeling it worse
So,
today than yesterday. Are you?
um, kind of. I was down bad last night before practice. When I got up to Mason City, I was down bad. I was like in their coach's office, like stretching and like rolling my back out, pretty much just meditating. Um,
Preparing for the
trying
next.
to trying to inhale energy,
Yeah.
like via caffeine and the spirit realm.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I'm still reeling a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
but let's freaking get into it, man. Preseason nationals. What a marathon of a weekend.
Just
So for those of you that weren't there, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that care or whatever, here's kind of what our weekend entailed. We left Cedar Falls at 3:30 p.m. Thursday. We got back Sunday night just before 10 p.m. So we leave Cedar Falls. We weigh-ins are Thursday night, right? But we go to Indianola to help Derek run practice. Put a face to the name, things like that, right? Then we get to our hotel, we check in. First session Thursday morning starts at 8, doors open at 7, right? So we get up 6:30 in the morning, leave the hotel at 7, we're 4 minutes away, right? We get there, warm up starts 7:20, day commences. There's a morning session, an afternoon session. The morning session gets done around 1:30. The afternoon session starts around 2:30. The afternoon session gets done that night right around 9.
yeah. Well, let's
So
so
we're there 7 to 9 day one.
yeah. It's sessions for the wrestlers. It's one long one for the coaches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know, 14-hour day in the books. Um, we had coffee for breakfast, and I got a chicken sandwich
You had coffee for
during.
breakfast.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Coffee and a protein shake. Um, for breakfast was mine. I think you just had the protein shake.
Yeah. Still off the coffee since uh fall brawl when my coffee got stomped on by a dad. Not on purpose, but it was just I think it just broke me of caffeine immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you tipped your hat this weekend though. You're in it for the 3 month euphoric experience, right?
Yeah. So everyone says it's caffeine is the best after you've been off it for like 3 months. So we're just gonna go. We're holding off for just the ultimate caffeine ride.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're on a little tangent here, but do you have that coffee picked out? Do you know what kind of coffee you're gonna get the end of your 3 months?
No, but it will. I'm not gonna brew it at home. That's for sure. So
You need to start planning, buddy. I mean, I think you put this cup of coffee on a pedestal. You just put it way up there like it's gonna be the best thing ever.
maybe I'll get it and bring it here and do it on the show.
That could be a good idea. I don't know. I'm just envisioning old Jake coming out where you're like at the park in your hammock and you've created this like serene environment where you're gonna like basically go on a mushroom trip of coffee and just like completely get lost in this one cup of coffee.
I mean, it's possible.
And then we never hear from you again.
I, also possible. Oh. Back to the
Jake
tournament.
has been Jake has been lost in the coffee realm.
Seems like a good time though.
Yeah. So anyway, day one, pretty much no issues, just long. Not nothing we haven't experienced before.
Not yeah,
You
not
know.
schedule or tournament running wise. No.
Yeah. Okay, but then day two happens. Okay, so day two is the same thing. Starts at 8. Warm ups or doors open at 7. Tournament starts at 8. So warm ups run around 7:20, 7:30. We're up at 6:30 again. First session goes fine. Okay, so they wrap up the ninth and 10th grade division. Um, they get the boys showcase into the finals, and then the 11th and 12th grade division is going to start that afternoon, right? So I'm pretty sure that was it, wasn't it?
I
Or
think
did the
so.
11th and 12th go that morning too? I don't know.
It's
It
all
it
it's all a tournament.
Yeah, yeah. Either way,
Yeah.
for the most part, high school was all but like the placing match and the finals wrapped up in that morning session, right? So then that afternoon session, you bring in fifth and sixth grade boys, seventh and eighth grade boys, and all hell breaks loose.
Yes. Yes.
Session two started at 2:30. By 3:30, only half the mats are running because results won't save to track.
Yep.
And then they fight this for like 90 minutes, and then they do a complete tournament shutdown, minus mat 2, which is the only mat that's still working to run the finals on,
Yeah.
right? So of the 27 mats they had, one of them is currently working, right? So uh, they do a complete shutdown for an hour while they try to get things running again.
So here's the
And
here's
then,
the here's where I had a problem. They were
yeah,
like, "We're gonna shut down for 30 minutes."
yeah.
It just go on the long end. Say we're gonna shut down for an hour and a half, and then have it be shorter.
Um,
But that could cause people to leave immediately.
yes.
But if you say 30 minutes and then you're an hour and a half in, it's like, okay, now we're just dealing with liars.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were in a no-win situation either way.
Yeah. Well, it's also I don't think it was the tournament director's fault, right? Like it wasn't like anyone at the head table. It wasn't anyone like, was it? I don't even know what the
No,
problem was. Yeah, it was just
no. Well, I mean, we can kind of get into it here a little bit more,
yeah,
right? Um, but yeah, so complete tournament shutdown, and then they're like, okay, all mats are open again, so all the mats clear. Every match got one match in. Every mat got one match in, and then like half of them failed again,
yeah,
right? So by the end of the day, we're like at 7:30 at this point, and I think mats 1 through 12, and then like 15, 16, and 17 were all operational as normal, and then all the other mats were completely shut down. So they extended the time that night. They were like, "Hey, here's our last bout. We hope to be done by 9:30." They ended up wrapping up right around 9:45, maybe close to 10, right? So that was a 7 a.m. to basically 10 p.m. day,
yeah,
right? So we're 14 hours, and then we're 15 hours, and we still have to come back for day 3 of this tournament,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So we come back the next day. It was supposed to start at 9. Day 3 was supposed to go from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., right? But they pushed the middle school and 5th and 6th grade boys up an hour, right? So um, they started at 8, and it was just the 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th grade boys. Everybody else rolled in at 9. And then later that afternoon, at 2:30, they were supposed to start the young kids, right? So girls started at 9, and then the younger boys, the third, fourth, first, second grade boys, were supposed to start at 2:30, right? Okay, no big deal. I mean, that's how it normally is. Well, they started at 8 and never paused. They ran straight through,
Yep.
just straight through. So 8 a.m. start time. Basically, if you weren't there at 7 that morning, you did not get mat space to warm up.
Nope.
They just freaking hammered down. They didn't even really announce the other sessions were starting. They just started assigning people to mats. I mean, they were just like completely wide open. Run, 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 run.
Yeah.
Right? And then that day ends up finishing up around 7 p.m. for us, but that was not the end of the tournament. It just happened to be that our kids had all either been beat out or were done with their placing matches by then.
Yeah.
It was wrapping up. I don't think the tournament went much longer than that. But, we got out of there around 7, went and grabbed a bite at Jose's taco truck.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Jose's taco truck, where Coach Lujan got a cheeseburger.
I'll try and clip in the video of that guy on this tricycle.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Interesting area for sure. And then we were home by 10 p.m. So just I mean, I haven't felt this bad since the last time we drove through the night on the way back from a Tulsa weekend.
Yeah, it rivaled it rivaled Tulsa, and Tulsa's the one of the longest days. Uh, has the longest days of a tournament of any of them.
Yeah. Oh, this was Tulsa to a T.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know, man. What do you do?
Well, it's just unfortunate that the track issue happened. But also,
Yeah,
but
but I still think
also,
that's only.
it's
I
long.
mean that. Yeah, the tournament was supposed to go until 7 on Sunday either way,
Yeah.
right? So it was supposed to go till 9 that second day, and it was supposed to go till 7 either way. So even with the track issue, um, we're talking about 2 hours out of, I mean, 12, 14, and 15 out, a 14, a 15, and a 12-hour day.
Yeah, and this is a tournament that has entry caps on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just long. I don't know.
I mean, it was 41 hours.
Yeah.
Like, um, like a lot of these coaches have real jobs. They'll work a 40-hour week and then a 41-hour weekend. That's that's a lot.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a lot. So I don't know, maybe we're spoiled because it's in Iowa and our travel time isn't too bad. And it's like we're complaining about it because we're close. I guess if we had planned on getting in Thursday and then leaving Monday anyway, maybe we wouldn't be complaining as much. But how many times a year can you do that? I don't know.
Uh, as many as it takes, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I just it was tough. But anyway, so the track issue, right? Um, one of the ladies was telling one of our club moms that they tried to just go old school, where they were going to go like pencil and paper, and then they were going to enter results back in like that, like while they could. that night. Like that was their whole like contingency plan. They couldn't get any communication to track at all. So they couldn't print out bouts. They couldn't pull up brackets. Like they had no access to anything. So they
Yeah.
couldn't even do pencil and paper. Um, Overall, it was just a complete failure inside of the track system.
Yeah.
So, I sympathize with USA Wrestling in the in this situation where it just wasn't their fault.
No, it wasn't. When I think we haven't seen a I don't think we've seen the best implementation of tournament software yet. I think there is an area that somebody can if they want to take the time to freaking build like really good intuitive tournament software, now would be the time. Like I just
Yeah, for
don't
sure.
I don't think I've
I
seen the best option yet.
for sure. I also think this is important to say. Like, I think it's worth having wall brackets and having someone fill them out as your backup plan.
You print them before the tournament and then just like yeah, like you do at local weekend tournaments or like you used to do however many years ago.
Yep, yep. And even if you don't want to print, or even if you don't want to fill them out, print them out each round. That a round is completed. So you always have the latest. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, well you're I mean, yeah. Yeah.
so that's a ton of waste. That's a ton of waste as a backup plan. So like I guess if you're going to be earth conscious, you fill them out. But having that as a backup plan is the only safe way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Long weekend, and it is definitely affecting my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So track failing. The weekend was long. We spent the entire last episode talking about how bad these girls' rules were. Um, and I still think the rules were bad, but I also think maybe we overreacted because they just didn't show up. Like,
Yeah. Well,
but
so
I go ahead.
I don't think we overreacted because our argument was why do this when you have two sets of rules that already exist that people know and understand. Like even if they don't show up, at some point they will. And there was some like I mean I know Deeds was saying like he had to go to the ref a couple times like hey it's not it's neutral restart every period not every out of bounds and like things like that. Like the refs are
Yeah,
confused, the coaches are confused, like everyone was. Anytime something that came up with the rules, like it was confusion and not like I mean, parents were and coaches were asking like, why wasn't that a step out? Like they went out of bounds. Well, one person was on their knees. It's like okay, what? How do okay? It's just not the. And it looks. This looks.
oh, this is so funny.
So I like so freestyle when the period ends you go to your corner to have 30-second like break time talk with your coach whatever towel off. It looks so ridiculous to not do that when you have neutral restarts because
It
like
well
it's
only if it was already still neutral.
yeah so like you're both on your feet basically standing in your stance in space. The period ends you walk back to the center right away and are in the same position again.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
run 1 6-minute period guy.
yeah. Well, I mean, for sure. I thought that looked funny a couple times.
Yeah.
Girls are hand fighting. I mean, it's like a unnecessary attention. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like attention. Okay, back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Um, that did look goofy.
I
That
did.
looked super.
Yeah, I did. It started to make me realize why some of the rules are implemented the way they are in freestyle. Like, the attention and things like that, that started to make more sense. Where it's like, okay, I get why why the shot clock's done the way it is, because the shot clock doesn't exist in an almost freestyle rule set for girls that they tried this weekend. You know what I mean? Like until overtime,
Yeah.
it brought some clarity to like problems that they definitely had in the past. Or like, okay, this is the fix. This is the fix. This is the fix, and that's why the rules in freestyle are the way they are. I think.
Yeah. Well, I like the freestyle rules, but
Yeah.
I will say this: any variation, any interpretation, or any enforcement of a step out rule, um, definitely kept action in the center, and that is good for pacing. 20 whistle restarts in a wrestling match slows things down.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like, especially with the new rules, there's a big emphasis on speeding this stuff up and forcing people to wrestle in the center of the mat. Um, Definitely speeds that up. Although it is interesting, it is super interesting. Um, I was talking to officials about it, and they were like, the step out doesn't make any sense for us when you only have to have one point of contact in bounds to score a point. He's like, he's like, from my point of view, they contradict each other. Am I trying to get one or am I trying to finish this takedown? He's like, am I supposed to blow the whistle when there's 2 feet out of bounds, but the other person is still in bounds? Or do all 4 feet have to go completely out of bounds? You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, they just made the rules clash. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, um, are we going to allow people to score takedowns out of bounds?
Well, so that's what I mean by like, okay, I can see why freestyle made the rule the way it is. You're allowed to finish your
Yeah,
takedown all the way out of bounds because otherwise that exact situation you're talking about happens.
for sure, for sure. So it was interesting. I saw a couple challenges for straight arm pushes, which were definitely straight arm pushes, which then resulted in a stall call against the person pushing.
Yeah.
Um, that always makes me laugh. But I don't know. They weren't as disastrous as I thought they were gonna be, but I also think that has a lot to do with either um, extreme imbalances inside the matches. The best girls are so much better than the next girls, um, or lack of lack of trying to game the the rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I think that's partially because most people just assumed, and this is from conversations we had this weekend. Hey, did you look at the girls' rules? No, but it's a step out. And I'm like, it's not a step out. I'm like, you have to watch. It's
Yeah.
different. It's just not a freestyle step out.
No.
So I think there was some confusion that occurred the day of because people just assumed it was the freestyle one. So the athletes maybe weren't as prepared as as they could have been to, like take advantage of this being a weird rule set.
Yeah. 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 So
So
overall,
I still don't like it.
overall it was fine, but why still? Yeah.
Beats me, buddy. I mean, we talked about in the last one. It's not because they want girls to get used to freestyle. Because if that's what you wanted, wrestle freestyle or make some of the rules like freestyle.
Yeah.
Don't do a hybrid. That's weird.
Yeah. And I talked to a couple people. I was like, I'm gonna go the opposite direction for this, and I'm gonna say, okay, we now need to implement the same rule set for guys. And like the only response would be, that's weird. Like, but It's weird for either.
Yeah, it is.
It's weird for
It
either.
is. It is. I mean, they're just doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, this is the hot. This is the hot one. This is this is worse. Uh, illegal holds. Are they challengeable?
No. Unless they lead to a fall. Illegal holds are not challengeable unless they lead to a fall. So if a kid throws in a full Nelson, turns us, and then puts us back on our belly, and the ref doesn't see the full Nelson, you can't challenge that hold because it didn't lead to a fall. So he gets to keep those back points.
Can you go to the illegal holds section of this?
Yes. I can. Illegal actions and holds. It's pretty large.
It is. So, uh, just pulling the headgear, for example.
Yep.
I mean, the date and fix situation, right? Like, this person can just pull our headgear clean off. Can't challenge it.
Yep.
Grabbing the singlet, can't challenge it.
Yeah. Well, I actually, so some of the mat returns that are illegal, like the kind of cutback mat returns, uh, in a match, kid did it to us once, and like I can't challenge it, so I just like bring the attention to the ref. I'm like, hey, just make sure that's legal because it's not looking like it. And the next one immediately stopped it. We got a point. But like I can't challenge it. Yeah, I can't challenge it in the moment because it was an illegal hold that they deemed not illegal, I guess, or didn't see,
Yep.
which is just. So, are you looking for something specific?
No, this is the freestyle one, right? Does this apply to?
Well, so the rule mod. So this is USA Wrestling has the free. It's mostly freestyle rules rule book, but they do the modifications for folk style in a separate section.
Okay, so do you know which call on here is missed the most?
Um,
Because people think it's only a freestyle rule.
no, I don't want to get dead air and look for it. So no.
Grabbing the toe box.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's up. It's up.
It's up.
Yeah. Seizing the sole
Oh,
of an
this one.
opponent's foot or toes. That happens just regularly
Yeah.
in folk style, and people just are like, no, it's freestyle rule only.
Yeah, and this is just for USA Wrestling as well. So,
Yeah. Yep.
but yeah, yeah, and dude, I saw so many like just super dangerous positions that went way too long, including like grabbing the toes and taking the guy's foot outside their hip toward their head, and just
Ah.
I don't know. I just we're
Look,
not
I don't
looking, or do we
care.
don't know, or
Well, I don't care if a kid puts himself into a potentially dangerous situation. It's still potentially dangerous.
yeah,
Like the like Luhan knee, right? So like
yeah,
guys go low single and he can kind of like bend his knee to be pulled against the joint. That's still against the joint.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
My favorite interaction this weekend with a ref was, so if guy has legs in and you stand up, it's potentially dangerous. And so that happened to us once, and they allowed it to go back to the mat. Like, so we stand up, hands come off the mat, guy's got legs in, his feet aren't on the mat, should be stopped. It's potentially dangerous. But he let the guy return us back to the mat with no feet in the mat. So I'm like, okay. Okay. And he does it again. And this time we fall backwards off the same type of things. He's got legs in, both feet off the mat. Should be potentially dangerous as soon as our hands come off the mat. But instead he allows us to be returned backwards to the mat. And so after the match, I was just like, hey, why was that not potentially dangerous when he had his legs in and we came up to our feet? And he goes, well, there's reaction time. I'm like, what? Okay, now I don't even know what you're talking about. That doesn't make sense to me. And he goes, well, I'm going to allow the position to continue if they're still moving. I was like, so if we got a knee just all the way out and bent backwards, if they're still moving, you're going to allow it to happen? He's like, no, this is different. I go, it's potentially dangerous in the rules. He goes, yeah, but I'm going to let it continue. I go, whoa. And he was like, he wasn't carrying all of his weight. And I go, as soon as our hands come up, he's carrying, the bottom guy's carrying all of our weight, or all of his weight. It just poor interpretation of some things. I don't,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there's liberties taken with the rules that just are not. You just shouldn't, because I mean, at this point, there are people around who know the rules, right? So like the days of most coaches just assuming they know the rules is pretty much gone. Um, I would say more than not, especially with where things are at right now, the coaches who do this full time, they know the rules for the most part.
yeah.
So like, I was talking to a coach there, and he's like, an official told him that they're just not calling fleeing the mat this weekend. But then, I mean, obviously, I saw fleeing the mat called,
Yeah, I did
but
too. That's why,
but an official saying, "Oh, we're not calling that this weekend," is just an absurd thing to say.
yeah, I don't either apply the rule or take it out. Like
Yeah,
you can't have a rule somewhere and then not use it. Like that's just it is against the rules.
yes. But while we are talking about rules,
Correct.
okay, there were some scale issues at the tournament, and USA Wrestling changed their policy for a handful of kids who missed weight, and then were allowed to come back to a different weigh-in to re-weigh in, um, secretively. They did this behind closed doors without allowing other people who moved weight classes, who missed weight by point 0.2, um, the opportunity to do the same thing.
Yes.
And uh, look, this is a USA Wrestling issue only. Look, if I thought there was an issue with the scale and my kid missed weight, I would go after him too. Um, However, I don't think I would have expected them to change their policy for me. Um, and the fact that they were changing policy for what I heard was 6 or 7 kids is uh, inappropriate to me, because there were probably also 6 or 7 kids who did the same thing, missed weight, and accepted it.
Yeah.
And there were definitely 6 or 7 kids who were over on the check scale, went and worked out, and then made weight. Of the 2,400 high school kids who weighed in, for 6 of them to have this issue, the math isn't mathing.
No. No.
So I am hoping that they just get rid of this. Get rid of it. If you go to an early weigh in and you miss weight, come back later. Weigh in again.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I have until the last moment?
Well, so you're saying the exact so for rules, you either apply them or you get rid of it.
Absolutely. And I'm saying that get rid of it.
Yeah.
You set the precedent now. So here's the deal, right? This is now a thing. Your check scale wasn't right. So we're just going to come back to a later weigh-in and do this again. Oh, sorry, coach, we can't do that. Well, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
So the other thing that kind of pisses me off though is one a parent went up and talked to them, and they said that the computer glitched and submitted the wrong weight for the kids.
Well, that's not really how computer glitches work, by the way.
No, but it doesn't matter. Like they did they went against their policy, and then they lied about it.
Yeah. Seems like a no-no.
You shouldn't do that. You just shouldn't do that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I have like a this year. This year, my um, I'm just underwhelmed by the experience at preseason nationals.
Yeah.
I will say this: they did a really good job. The venue did a really good job providing pretty good food options.
Yeah.
Of the tournaments we go to, it was the best.
Yeah. They have normal concession stuff. Got the chicken tendies and things like that. They even have like like normal lunch meat sandwiches and salads over there. And then in the hallway they got Chick-fil-A, barbecue, rolled ice cream,
Tasty.
uh, pizza, you know. So good variety and not just absolutely only garbage options.
Yeah. No, it was great. I mean, almost a highlight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This tournament was hard. It was freaking hard. It was tough,
Yeah.
and it was just a hard. It was a hard one, man. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this year's preseason nationals
No.
at all.
Before we get too far away from the rules, do we want to talk about stalling or is that just a me issue?
It's not a you issue. It's just a weird. Just there's no solve for it.
Yeah. So
You have some officials that call it like college,
yeah.
and then you have some officials who only call the person who's winning for stalling.
Yeah, the quick summary is like if the score is 0-0, almost nobody's getting hit for stalling. But if it as soon as it becomes a 1-0 match, the guy who is winning is just automatically stalling almost regardless of what's happening or what had happened the entirety of the match.
Yeah, I just 3 seconds shouldn't override 4 minutes.
No, I mean I saw multiple matches uh, from not just our club but from different clubs where attacking first two periods, and then we get an escape in the third, and it's like the tight match 3-2 whatever 1-1-0 doesn't matter, and then the guy shoots once in the first 30 seconds of the third period and just stalling on the other guy. Right? It's just like the, I don't know. Stalling definitely exists, but I don't know how you deal with it in a way that's consistent.
Yeah, I don't know, but again, I think this comes back to like there's there's emphasis placed on certain things at different levels, and um, basically the officials get to kind of pick and choose which level they like.
Yeah. My only kind of maybe wild solution was if you're winning, maybe you earn the right to stall, which is crazy, kind of. But
Yeah. Well, I just think that this is where I actually like the step out. I think a step out, especially late in tight matches, um, kind of takes care of it.
It's so fun to watch that in freestyle.
Yeah, well, it to me it kind of takes care of it because you can't rely on the edge anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I think my favorite part of the weekend was someone's dad telling you to f off because his kid got called for stalling. By far my favorite part of the
Yeah.
weekend.
His kid gets called for stalling, and the ref didn't realize it was the second one, so he goes to the table to be like, "Where did that point come from?" And I go to the table because I'm like, "That was definitely the second stall call to make sure we get it right." And then the ref realized I didn't even say anything. I just walk up waiting, didn't say anything. Ref figures it out, so I walk back to the corner. When I get back over there, the dad is looking at me like, "That's not stalling, f you," and I'm like, "I I didn't make the call. I'm not the referee here, so I don't. I didn't make the call, buddy." And he goes, "Shut the f up." I go, "Okay, but it's still not the referee, so
Uh,
I don't know what you want to do, but your kid's going home." So
yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was almost as good as mine. Almost as good as
yeah,
mine.
yeah, you had a situation where the dad called a 10-year-old disrespectful.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So, it was a really good wrestling match. It was a good wrestling match. Two good wrestlers, right? Um, the first period was really physical, and at the end of the first period, as our kid got off of him, um, he kind of shoved him. But it was a very physical first period, And I even asked our kid, I go, "Hey, why? Like, what happened?" And he's like, "Dude, the whole first period, he was just digging his forehead into me." And I was like, "Oh, all right." He's like, "And then when he got up, he like pushed into me, so I pushed him off." And I'm like, "Yeah, heck yeah, I'm okay with that." You know what I mean? There's an official there. If it gets egregious, they're supposed to stop it, right? This is just part of our sport. There's pushing and shoving and hard clubs and forehead grinding and like all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Um, but then like I mean I could kind of tell that the match was getting chippy. And our kid got a takedown with like maybe 10 seconds left to pretty much ice it, put it out of reach. And with 3 seconds left, I just yelled at him, and I was like, "Hey, nothing." So the match ends. He stands up. They shake hands. Our kid goes over to their corner, goes to shake the dad's hand, and the dad just goes no and points at the coach. So our kid's oblivious, right? He's just like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll shake the coach's hand. No big deal." Um, and then as his kid is walking over, he screams, "Hey, no, get over here!" And the kid's kind of like looking at him with his hands up, like I'm supposed to. He's like, "Never." So the kid walks over there, and the dad's just like, "You need to teach your kid some manners." And I was like, "Bro, stop." Like I literally told him, "Stop." And he goes, "No, your kid is disrespectful. You guys are disrespectful." And I was like, "Stop." And then we walked to the corner. I thought it was over. And just as we're over there, he starts screaming, "Two times. 2 times your kid pushed us." And I just kind of looked at him and I go, "It's about to be a third, buddy. Get out of here." And I just lost it. I was like, "What are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
you have to stop." And then he's just kind of looking at me, and I'm like, "Go away." And then finally, like, they walk away or whatever, and I'm just like, "Dude,
Yeah.
you're yelling at me for being disrespectful, and then you made your kid not come shake our hands as a way to teach my kid, who was coming over to shake your hand, to be more respectful."
Smart. Makes sense. Yeah.
Just,
We had a
just uh,
yeah. One of our parents this weekend was talking to me. It was kind of their first like tournament like this,
yeah,
and she's like, "I didn't realize that like some of the stuff that goes on in the corners is crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah. welcome to it. Like
Yep.
she's like, some people are just like out of pocket. And I go, yeah, yeah, especially for their first and second graders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I just mirroring. Mirroring is a real thing. And your child is going to mirror your behavior no matter what. Every single time. Right? So um parents have to get a grip on this. They have to. Crying doesn't mean you care more or less. Throwing a fit doesn't mean you care more or less. Right? A kid can be upset and uh, not cry. Like, man, that sucks. I'm really upset I lost. What should I do differently? Right? Uh, but it's just when your kid loses and you as a parent act a fool over there or slam things down or you know kind of berate them or whatever, um, you're you're adding very unnecessary pressure, very very unnecessary pressure. You're also doing the coach's job, so just coach them.
yeah, well, I mean, I haven't had to do this. I don't think at all this year, but listen, I don't mind if a parent sits in the corner with me. It's okay. But as soon as if I give them two times, if they're yelling over me when I'm trying to say something, I just move backwards behind them.
I did that this weekend.
I just move backwards behind them, and then like after the match, they're normally like, "Sorry, I shouldn't have said." That. I'm like, I mean, it's not the first time, but I'm not going to coach over top of you. That's not. It's not what I'm going to do.
Well, at the end of the day, we can't compete against them.
No,
The kid will never listen to us over them.
no.
I mean, and like, so they should in that moment, that very specific moment, but they shouldn't. I'm not their parent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, if it's like the old like, there's a like the old dog thing, right? Like, the dog gets to pick its owner, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, that kid should go to their parents every single time,
yeah,
every single time. So if I'm having to compete with a parent for eye contact or for instruction or whatever, um, I'm not going to.
yeah,
It causes too much confusion and too much grief. Um, now I completely accept. Hey, this kid's really really good on top. We probably shouldn't pick bottom. Okay, I'm rocking with it.
yeah,
Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be prepared for your kid, I support it. Or, hey, this kid's got a nasty fireman's. Perfect. That's good to know. Let me talk to little Jimmy before we go, or whatever.
yeah,
But being poised, displaying emotional control is the best thing parents can do for us.
yes, 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 yes,
It's the best thing they can do for us.
yes. Yeah,
So
I agree.
I know that's a weird little tangent that has nothing to do with preseason nationals, but
Kind of.
uh, I it's incredibly helpful.
Yeah,
It's incredibly helpful.
yeah. Well,
You know.
um, yeah, I agree. Anything else preseason related?
Can't wait to go back next year.
Hell yeah. Do you want to do a clip of the week or cut it off?
Let's do a clip of the week.
All right. Got one pulled up already.
Oh, who do we have?
Uh,
Leah?
Haji Aliyev and Alexander Bogomoyev from the 2012 World Cup, it looks like.
All
So,
right. First of all, sick appreciation for the old wrestling mats.
yeah. Yeah. Red, yellow, and blue with the helicopter landing pad in the middle. It's really nice.
It is. It is. Hmm. Oh,
Classic Russian kick out. I have no idea how long this is supposed to be of a clip.
who cares? This is the first. Oh, is this the second period?
This is
Oh no,
this is
third period.
the third period. They're tied 1-1. All right, that's probably the clip there. uh,
Yeah, I had to figure out what was going on here. So, Bogomoyev won the first match, 1-0. Aliyev won or first period.
yeah,
Aliyev won the second period, 1-0, and this is the start of the third period.
yeah. I think we got a classic Aliyev snap to ankle. The ref gets in the way.
Oh, singlet for sure,
Yeah.
dude. Singlet for
Did you
sure.
see it or no?
Yeah.
You did.
Yes.
All right, let's
Yes.
find it. Oh, there was the thumb.
Hang on. Keep going. He grabs the far one. Boom.
Yeah, yeah. Classic Aliyev snap. Really good attack. This is a dude. The Russians kick out of stuff like this better than anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, I like this kick out
They go,
because if you miss it, you DT him.
yeah. You just reverse heel kick them in the head.
Good job staying low, wrestling through. Dude, Aliyev was so good, man.
Yeah,
I can't believe this is 2012. This looks like a video from the 80s.
dude. This is what 2012 wrestling videos look like.
I mean,
Okay, my
clearly.
cat just joined the. Just
Ooh, debut. What's up, kitty?
okay. Well, I don't know. You got anything else for this clip?
No, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like that one.
Terrible rule set.
Uh,
No,
debatable.
no, don't add that. It was the worst.
Debatable. Debatable. This might have been one of the clinch matches too. Maybe. I don't
Well,
know.
if you got,
Doesn't matter.
uh,
This is the
that's the second period.
yeah. So if it happened, it would have been in the first.
Looks like it. Oh no,
There was a score there.
Flores is tying this up.
Yeah. 1 point takedowns. Sick.
Yeah, remember 2 3 points ended a period.
Yeah, I like that. That's funny. And it was 1-5,
Yeah.
right?
1-5, 2 threes. 3 was feet to back.
Yeah.
1 point takedowns. I think. I do not remember. Was hand to hand?
Hand to
Was
hand
that
was
gone for
one.
this?
No, hand to hand was one.
I feel like it was gone.
They at the end of it, they might have taken it away, but when the rule set first started like this, it was hand to hand was one. Because you would get laced and you would go try to go hand to hand straight out of bounds.
Oh, maybe this was where they. So at the beginning of this, they allowed um, multiple turns. Because when I first started, you could only do one turn and then you had to go do a
Yeah,
different one.
yeah. This was multiple turns for sure.
Yeah, you could do 2 laces in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ugh, bleh.
yeah,
What a terrible rule set.
yeah.
So,
And
hey man, this might be our most negative podcast so far. This has been pretty.
We're excited for the World Championships at 4:30 in the morning. That's positive.
We are excited for that. Go Team USA, but pretty low energy, pretty
Wow.
negative vibe.
Listen,
This might cost us 4 more subscribers.
probably only one.
That's true.
Probably only one. All right.
All right. Well, hopefully next week we are in a better place.
Yeah. What do we got this weekend? P&L?
Yep.
All right. We'll see you next week.